Hey you guys, it's Gemstone from www.debutingspirit.com. I hope you guys are doing well. This reading is for the 27th of October through to the 2nd of November. And today I'm going to be using the Tarot of Mermaids. This is a part of my deck challenge. This is a deck that I very, very rarely use. I don't mind it, it's okay, but I don't know, I don't love it. It's not like my favorite deck. But I have been doing readings with it and stuff, and it's been going well. Like, it's been going good. I can use them, but I just feel like they're just not my favorite. But they're nice. So I have laid out like the cards already and been looking at them, and it's quite an interesting message for this week. The first card to come up is the Empress, and to me the Empress is it's all about how we care for ourselves. It's kind of that the nurturing. To me, is the Empress is almost like Mother Nature. Like, that's what she is. She is abundant, she is plenty, she is again, the care we take for ourselves, the care we take for others. She can also represent like creating something, birthing something, bringing something in. And I like this card because to me it could be what we're birthing or what we're bringing in is some aspect of ourselves, some part of ourselves. To me the Empress is also like to me, if she was a person, she would be really confident, a really, beautiful woman that that knows how to care for herself. She knows how to nurture herself so well that she's able to nurture others. And so if you kind of feel like that's something that is lacking in your life, like you're really nurturing to other people and you don't really take that out time for yourself, the Empress is saying that you need to take out time for yourself, and you need to really be able to care for yourself in a very well, like not even just take out time for yourself, but I think it's important for us to nurture ourselves as much as we can, as often as we can, because I think we can get so caught up in being busy and always giving our energy to others all the time, or giving our energy to our jobs all the time, or something else is always like zapping like all of our energy and all of our time, that we can neglect ourselves. And you see that all the time, like so many people are like that, like they just don't have time to take a break, they don't have even time to do anything even nice for themselves. So it's saying that if you find that up until this point, like you just haven't had that time, or there's something that you haven't been doing recently, you have to make time for that. Really take time out to care for yourself, nurture yourself, and then you can really give on to others like wholeheartedly. And then the middle card is the Six of Swords, which out of like most of the swords cards, to me this is like one of the better ones. To me the Six of Swords and the Ace of Swords are like the good ones. But then when it comes to this card, it's like you're moving forward, you're sailing forward. If there was a time of challenge, now things are becoming a bit easier. It can mean a different state of mind as well, because the swords are about thinking, it's about the mind. So it can mean that maybe your state of mind is changing. Maybe you can move into a state where you feel a bit more at peace. For some people, this actually could mean traveling. It can mean retreating and going away. And which with the Empress, that might be actually a good idea. Again, it could be taking time out for yourself, being on your own for a bit, or just traveling somewhere new. Because to me, when I look at the Empress, she looks like she's just about to dive into that water, and then you see this card, this person is like on the ship and they're going. It's almost like they tell that story like next to each other, like this Empress is traveling somewhere else. So maybe that's what is happening for like some of you guys, or maybe you might even be considering that, like this might be a time where you might even be thinking about booking a holiday or something like that, going somewhere different, where you can maybe pamper yourself or have somebody else pamper you. And that might be quite nice. So yeah, it's nice. I like that, especially because we moved from 3 to 6. Those are quite good numbers, that progression. But this one is the Five of Wands. Now, this is interesting because usually when I look at the five of wands, it can be, I think the negative side of it is it can be about arguments and disagreements, and it can be quite heated arguments and disagreements. But then at the same time, it can represent competition, which in some instances isn't a bad thing. But what I like about this one is that they don't look like they're proper fighting at all. If anything, they do actually look like they're playing. So this card, to me, it carries a different air to it than like the traditional five of wands. But at the same time, what I would say is if it does show up for somebody as a disagreement or anything that is a bit unpleasant, just don't get suckered into it. Don't get suckered into it, because I feel like with the five of wands, it can be a case of you just want to be stubborn and somebody's arguing and you just want to be arguing back, and it's not really about really, sometimes it can be like you're not really just getting anywhere with it, you know. So if it shows up like that, like, just don't engage in it. But at the same time, I feel like for some people it can just be a case of like something competitive. It might not even be that serious, it might be something competitive that you're doing, um that is like a sport or something like that. If that's the case, then that's great. To be honest, when I look at this, that's how I kind of see it, because it just looks so pleasant in this card that it could come up like that. It could just be you having fun with somebody else, and it's like competitive sports or gaming or something. And if that's how it shows up for you, then that is actually really nice and really pleasant. And but then the underneath card was what kind of came up, that had a different energy to it. But even though it had a different energy, I'm looking at these cards, and even with this five of wands that could be presented as a challenge, I'm feeling like it doesn't always show up like that way. So the underneath card, however, is the Three of Swords. The Three of Swords definitely is seem to be more of a challenging card. It can mean a heartbreak, it can mean an ending, it can mean feeling betrayed. It could be. So if this five of wands shows up as an argument for you, it can mean that maybe that is where the betrayal comes in, or that's where the upset is coming in, and maybe that is what this argument could possibly be about, or disagreement can be about. I think, however, because I'm also feeling that for some it can have a positive air about it, then it can be a bit different. And to me, I think the Three of Wands, if you was to put maybe a more pleasant spin on it, even though it's not that pleasant a card to show up, I feel like it is talking about something that is necessary that had to break apart anyway. Like, to me, and what's always stumped me about this card is I've always wondered, like, why would a heartbreak card show up in the sword suit and not in the cups suit? Because cups is more about relationships, so you'd think a heartbreak card would be a part of the cups. But what I feel, or what I think in terms of this card is that I think even heartbreak is really, it's an illusion. Like, your heart physically doesn't break when somebody leaves you. If you had a health condition or a heart condition, like your heart could rupture or something like that, but physically, if somebody was, walked out of your life, it couldn't literally like damage your heart, it wouldn't break your heart. That's just an expression. But I think that it is an expression that we do internalize, and we do feel a sense of pain when something has come to an end. But that pain, it can manifest as a physical pain, because sometimes if you are like even extremely stressed, you can experience physical pains in your body. But really, it really is a state of mind, because I always feel like if you and another person just cannot see eye to eye, and it ends in some kind of separation, even though there's a pain that is initially felt, most often than not, it's probably for the best. Like, if you and that person really just couldn't make it work, and you just really just there was no middle ground, then it's like, what are you really working with? And then you always get the opportunity to move on and experience something else with someone else that you can connect with. And so you know, even if there's challenges that present themselves, and I feel like, especially looking at this card, it's really, it looks like the mermaid, like she's looking into the water. She's really reflecting and she's really thinking a lot in terms of this situation, maybe whatever this separation, heartbreak, or betrayal kind of situation is. And what I would say is, experience it, but try your best not to dwell on it. If this is the way it shows up for you, try your best not to dwell on it. If anything, and it might not always be a relationship situation, it could be even a betrayal of somebody that is close to you. Oh no, could manifest as like a friend, family member. It can mean, or it can mean just any kind of something that shows up and there's this kind of separation involved. If it shows up for you like that, just know that in time, you know, like they say, time heals all wounds. It truly does. You may get upset now, but it'll be okay later. So there, and that's quite interesting. Again, it's like a 3 card. 3, 3, and 6. That's quite interesting, isn't it? It's like, here we had the Empress, who is 3. Then we had 3 of Swords, and then in the center of everything is the 6 of Wands. So it's almost like, if I was to just look at the numbers, it's almost like saying, like, anything that we create or we're birthing that maybe creates some sense of heartbreak or disappointment, that 6 things can lead to harmony. It can lead to something better. Sometimes this is just something that just had to happen at this time, but eventually we can sail into a better place and a better state of being. So yeah, life does keep moving. So okay, I'll see you guys. Bye.